Get both of us in that.
Well, welcome to Castle Rigg Stone Circle, and we're welcoming back Professor Robert Clancy all the way from Australia. Robert, thank you for...
It's wonderful to be here, a Neolithic background.
And you made a rather long trip for this. Now, the last outside broadcast Robert and I did was on the Darwin Trail, which of course is in, where remind us, Robert?
Well, Wentworth Falls, just west of Sydney, when Darwin in the Beagle took time off and crossed the Blue Mountains and made those wonderful discoveries of space and time and animals that look alike but were different.
Yeah, so we'll put the link to that. If you've missed that, you've missed out. But we're here today really at this stone circle, and the reason we've come to the stone circle is Robert and I both have spent our lives studying people and health and disease, and basically there's been people in this part of the world this is what you call Neolithic, this circle, and it's probably 4,500 to 5,000 years old. What sort of feeling do you get, Robert, knowing that there's been people exactly like us, in this area, building these stones for 5,000 years? Do you get that sort of sense of continuity, shared humanity? What sort of feelings do you get?
Well, I get a feeling of shared intellect, that the concept of time and individuals who were probably as smart as we are. And we've just been to the Shetland Islands, as you know, and they started off with just upright stones, and now we've come further south and we see this organisation of stones, all of which are in a geometric fashion, identified with the summer solstice, and it's quite awe-inspiring, isn't it? And, normally we sit here talking about the plagues of today, and here we are looking at people who were 6,000-7,000 years ago. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that this is Neolithic, so before that there was Mesolithic peoples that used to come and go in this area from time to time, but they lived here permanently from the Neolithic because that's when the glaciers retreated and people could live here all the time. Do you think human beings would, if someone from there was transported to here or we were transported to there, do you think are we the same people, or do you think there's been a change in humanity? How do you feel?
I think they would cope probably better than we did going backwards. They were extraordinarily adapted to their environment. They were able to control the environment to better themselves and their families. Maybe we're missing out on some of that today.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at these circles, you do see... You can see the mind working, and of course these people go out at night, and unlike us, they'd be able to see the stars because they wouldn't have any street lights, and it would be very much part of the life that they lived in accord with the natural environment. Do you think we're sort of missing out on something here? That, okay, it's nice to have dentists and it's nice to have doctors, I'm not complaining about the modern world, but do you think these people were sort of maybe more in tune with their natural environment in a way that we miss out on these days?
Well, it was probably warmer in those days. I think what we're not missing out on is the cold and the wind. But no, I think humankind has evolved over, as you say, 10,000 years. And what we've evolved is good and it's bad. It's up to us to learn how to best utilise and capitalise on new discoveries. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't.
Indeed. And the other thing that Robert's Australian, of course, and has been for several generations, but I'm from the UK, but we're both actually Scottish, Welsh and English, just a few generations back. So
that means we're related, is that correct?
We will be related. I would imagine that within the last 500 years we'll have had a common ancestor, almost certainly. It's certainly within the last 1,000 years, that's pretty well guaranteed. And I get a kind of... it's a nice feeling knowing that these people that built this would be our direct ancestors.
They were. Yeah. It's very hard for us to go back more than a few generations, but when you think about it, we've come a long way, haven't we? We were just talking earlier about how great discoveries do not occur every day, and we seem to go in jumps. We were talking about genetics and the fact that in 1953 Crick and Watson discovered the base pairing base of structure of life. And everything that's happened then has been a technical modification of all of that. And I suppose we're now, maybe Wi-Fi was the next great generation idea.
Yeah. So someone woke up one morning and thought, oh, wouldn't it be a good idea to put some stones in alignment with astronomical phenomena, and people have sort of been going on since then. And then not long after these stones were built, people have started making metals and mixing metals, and they will go into a Bronze Age and then an Iron Age. What age do you think we're in now? If there was a Stone Age, then a Bronze Age, then an Iron Age, how would you describe our age? Are we in the electronic age? Are we in the... What age are we in now, do you think?
I'm beginning to think we're in the confused age. We've taken technology to such an extraordinary level, and yet we're not quite sure how to use it best. Should we do this? Should we jump into space? Should we fix our environment? Should we keep ourselves warm? Should we improve our IT, artificial intelligence? All these things are impinging on us. It seems that back then, in Neolithic times, life was much simpler. The decision-making was more linear. Our decision-making is, as I said, I think it's confused. There are so many options. We're creating these problems for ourselves.
So if you're watching this video, you live in the age of confusion, which is reassuring to know, I suppose. But I think we'll just close with a quick look round at where we are now, because we're in the beautiful Lake District. We can see the Castle Rigg Stone Circle just there. And then when we pan round, we can see various hills. Photographers, of course, always come to this spot to take pictures. If you want to come to Castle Rigg Stone Circle, it's just outside Keswick, so it's quite easy to find in Cumbria.
You're becoming a tourist guide.
Yeah.
Tourist guide.
Yeah. I'm in for a cut with the local authority.